We'll say hello now to Alcorn State head coach Jay Hobson. Good morning, Coach Hobson. How are you?
Good morning. Doing good.
Thank you very much, Coach, for joining us this morning. If you will, please open things up with a statement, and from there we will start with questions.
Well, just looking forward to the game Saturday. Certainly an honor to be there, and excited to have that opportunity.
All right, the floor is now open for Alcorn State head football coach Jay Hobson. Please remember to use the command *6 to unmute your phone.
Coach Hobson, Donald Ware from the press box to press row. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Donald. How are you doing?
Doing great. What did you take away from the game on Saturday with the Bayou Classic, obviously with Southern winning? What did you take away from the game as a whole?
Well, I mean, we knew it was two really good football teams competing. So, it played about the way we expected the game to play. Certainly it's a rival game, so we knew it'd go down to the wire. And, just thought both teams did a fantastic job. Southern did a great job and made big plays. And a lot of times that's what rival games come down to. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot of big play, difference-maker plays. I thought played well on all phases of the game. So, it's what we expected, to be honest with you, Donald.
Okay. With that, are there some obviously you lost to Grambling early in the season, but are there some things you took away? I mean, I'm not asking for specifics, but I mean.
Yeah, well, we've lost 3 games by a total of 16 points. You know what I'm saying? So football is a weird game. It kind of is what it is. You know, we certainly feel like we've had the opportunity to be undefeated, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, we're not. We're a 9-3 football team because each game is a different game and each game takes a different complexion. And I think that's the important thing about football. It's kind of cliche, Donald, but I think, you got to get ready each week. So really nothing that happens from the previous week or 2 weeks ago, really in football you can kind of throw that out. You got to get ready each week because it's a different challenge, and the ball bounces differently each week. So we know whether it was Grambling or Southern, we knew we were going to have a really good football team to prepare for, and that's what it should be in a championship game. And we're certainly excited about the challenge, Donald, and we got to get ready this week.
And then lastly, I know you're excited and looking forward to the SWAC championship game, but boy, you got a really good team that I think could have had a chance to maybe even do some damage in the FCS playoffs. Would you have liked to have participated in the national playoffs?
Well, I mean, it's one of those deals where we're kind of blessed in the SWAC to have a championship game. There's some give and take in both. I think there's many SWAC teams that could win. Like I said, do some damage in the playoffs. But I think there's also some give and take with the SWAC championship game. You're able to play in front of, at times, maybe a 60,000-plus crowd, national TV game. So there's some give and take there. That's something in the 1AA playoffs you don't get to be a part of, So, I mean, it's an interesting question, and it's certainly but that's the great thing about our conference is we are number one in attendance in all the FCS. So we get to play in front of some fun crowds, and that's the one negative. If you don't play the championship game, that's one thing that you can't be a part of. So, I mean, it's kind of I don't really know I just know we're excited to play in the championship game and have the opportunity to go to Houston and play in a game with that type of environment and that type of setting. So, but I hear what you say, and I think there are a lot of teams in the SWAC that could do well in the playoffs.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Hey, Coach. Roz and Law from the Clarion Ledger.
Hey, Roz.
Hey, I know the game against Jack Taylor was about, a while ago, but after watching film, was there anything different that you saw about your team, I guess, offense or defensive-wise, that could change the outcome of that game?
Well, Roz, I mean, I just put it this way: we had, anytime you have 3 touchdowns, that you don't capitalize on, and anytime you have turnovers in critical situations and critical penalties, at the end of the day, hey, you're not going to win if you do that. And so we didn't win, and at the end of the day, we had our chances and our opportunities. I mean, heck, with 4.5 minutes to go, we're up by 11, and then we turned the ball over on our 10-yard line, and you're not going to win if you do that. So at the end of the day, yeah, there's things you look at, and you certainly you can't do those things and win. So at the end of the day, it was like I said. I mean, we had opportunities there, and like I said, we had 3 TDs called back, and at the end of the day, you can't do that and win games.
How has the team responded when you've seen them in practice the last week or so since that loss?
We're fine. I mean, it's the next game. I mean, we don't sit and dwell on. I mean, we've had 3 heartbreakers, Roz. If you remember, we lost to Southern Miss, which that was a heartbreaker, and we had some controversy there too. You know what I'm saying? And then we had the heartbreaker at Grambling. We down the 2 and didn't score, and we threw. We dropped a pass in the end zone. So I mean, we were a team that, like I said, we were 16 points from winning all of them in regular season. But at the end of the day, we didn't, and that's just the facts. When you don't do the things you got to do in order to win, guess what? You don't win. So I think it's a deal where we just move on to the next one because that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, David Perkins with SBN Sports. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wanted to ask you about your quarterback, John Gibbs Jr., who's having a great season. Can you talk about how he feels, how much he's looking forward to the game Saturday, this matchup, in front of a national TV audience? I'm sure he's really looking forward to leading the offense on Saturday.
John is, and John is a he like I said, he's been a tremendous player for us, and done a great job leading our team. He gets to go back home. Houston's his hometown, so he always enjoys that. He'll have a lot of family and friends there, but I'm sure he, as well as the rest of the guys on our team, are excited about the opportunity, and it's certainly an honor.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coach, it's Mark Gray from HSRN. How are you?
You're doing fine.
I wanted to talk to you about the matchup specifically with Southern. We talked during the SWAC media day about the Spinks Jinx, and there seems to be a little of that working in the head-to-head matchups. Something about Alcorn and their ability to find the recipe, if you will, to win games versus Southern. Can you explain the success that you all have had in that particular matchup?
Well, I don't know. I think every game's a different game, and I think that's what it is. It's always, a couple of them, like the last 2, were hard-fought games down to the end, and it's just it's a deal where we just have been fortunate, and hopefully we got to prepare hard for which we know a really good football team. Coach Odums does a tremendous job, and they have our utmost respect. It's certainly a close game, and if you will, natural rival game. We're right here next to each other, but at the end of the day, we have the utmost respect to Southern. They have an outstanding football team, and we know we got to be prepared and ready to play.
Can you talk about the problem? Their defensive front, they're massive. They make it real difficult for, teams to go up the middle. Grambling found that out on that last play on Saturday. And they also do a pretty good job of setting the edge. So when you look at that front 7, and given that your quarterback is a very mobile quarterback, can you talk about some of the, matchup issues that front 7 in particular is going to present for you guys to run your spread option attack?
Well, like I said, they have a really good football team. And you wouldn't expect it any other way in a championship game. So, and they're a well-coached football team, and we certainly, know not only do they have an outstanding defense, they have an outstanding offense, and our quarterback is going to have to make plays for us to be successful. I mean, that's going to be true, and we're going to have to block. And, at the end of the day, it should be a hard-fought football game. And, that's what we're expecting. And we know it'll be a four-quarter football game. And it's just a big challenge, but, it's a challenge that we're certainly blessed to have and certainly appreciative of.
Lastly, handling the stage that you guys are going to be on, if there's an intangible, just, and paper counts for nothing going into this, but I have to ask because that's what we do in this business.
Right.
When you look at them having been on that stage, RNG, 45, 50,000 people playing for all that's on the line there, will there be a period of adjustment in that game, for lack of a better term, for your team to get their legs, or do you think you'll be able to come out and fire on all cylinders?
Well, I mean, that's why we played at Mississippi State last year. We played Southern Miss in front of about 40-something thousand this year. I mean, we played up in Indianapolis last year, Grambling in the Circle City Classic. So, I mean, we played in, Lucas Oil Stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in those environments. I mean, Mississippi State, we played in front of about 65,000, 70,000. So our kids have played in those type of environments. So, and we've played in that, and they have too. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's just going to be a football game is what it is, and that's what it amounts to. All that stuff's not going to have really any bearing on anything. It's going to be, whoever plays better between the lines.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
Coach, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to talking with you later this week, and good luck to you in the championship game.
Thank you.
That's Alcorn State head football coach Jay Hobson. And again, this team takes on Southern in the 2014 Toyota SWAC football championship game this Saturday. Next up on the call, we go to Dawson Odums and Southern University. How did they get here? They clinched the Western Division with a 52-45 victory in its final regular season game this past Saturday over Grambling State. After only winning 2 of its first 5 games of the season, the Jaguars went on to win its next 7 in a row, making their second consecutive trip to the SWAC title game. Southern finished 9-3 overall and 8-1 in league play. Good morning, Coach Odums. How are you?
Oh, doing great. How you doing?
Just fine, Coach. Thank you very much for joining us. If you could, please open things up with a statement, and from there we will take questions.
First of all, we're very appreciative and, grateful on this end to be going back to the championship. It's a hard-fought game. Very good Grambling football team. When you put 2 we had on display, I think it really represented the conference very well. A game that came down to actually the last seconds. I take my hat off to Coach Bob and the job that he's done in his first year at Grambling. And Williams was as advertised. I mean, he can spin it with the best of them, and he did a great job of moving their offense down the field. I believe that when you can stop the running game, really make things one-dimensional, and if you force them to throw the ball, good things can happen for you. But he was on fire. He was connecting on about 50% of his passes, and they're very talented and getting them fits offensively. Offensively, I mean, Austin Howard had a day that he's going to always remember probably for the rest of his life. He had guys that step up and make plays. Mark Dillard was able to gain 1,000 yards on the season, and the offensive line didn't give up any sacks from a team that was leading in sacks, and we were able to get 6 sacks. We had a couple of special teams breakdowns, but we were able to get in the end zone. We had a big punt return, kickoff return, and that's really what kept us ahead and kept the momentum on our side. But it was a game that went back and forth, and we're very fortunate to be on the winning side of it, and we look forward to representing our side in the SWAC championship.
All right, questions now for Southern University head coach Dawson Odums. Please remember to use the command *6 to unmute your phone before asking a question.
Coach, this is Mark Gray from HSRN. Congratulations. I'm just wondering how you physically came out of the game and emotionally. A lot of emotion, right down to the wire. Have you been able to gauge how your kids are doing with all those intangibles after a couple days now?
Well, I think it's as advertised, our guys are celebrated for 24 hours, and we get right back to work today. You understand this football team, we have a process in the way we do things. It's going to be exciting when you play the Bayou Classic and when you win. So our guys deserve to celebrate, and then they'll come right back down to earth on Monday. And because we understand it's a bigger picture. The process gets you there, and now we got to come up with a plan to see if we can go and represent ourselves well this weekend. But they're excited, but we move on and get ready for the next one.
Do you approach it like, okay, it's our trophy to lose now, or does last year count for nothing?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
Do you approach it as, all right, we're defending our title, or is it like, this new year, new game, last year means nothing?
It means nothing. We're not defending it. We defend the Bayou Classic because that trophy goes to the other team if the other team wins. So you're always defending it. But last year we won the 2013 SWAC championship. It stays with us. Everybody's chasing a new trophy, and that's what the goal was this year, was to somehow get this football team in position to chase it like everybody else. We don't get no reward for last year on this year. So that's our guys' focus. If you want to win it this year, you better get focused and locked into what you need to do and go out and play lights out and give yourself a chance to win a football game.
And in regards to your true freshman quarterback, Austin Howard, for a true freshman kid to come on and really earn the captaincy, to really have command in the huddle, he looks like he's a kid that's wise beyond his years. Can you talk about his leadership and how that helps make his physical tools that much better?
Well, he's played a lot of football. This guy's been a quarterback for a long time, and I really think, we put emphasis on whether it's their first year or whether they're second year or whether they're a senior. But at the end of the day, I think when you watch football, you see some seniors that's been doing it for a while play like freshmen, and you see some freshmen that play like seniors. Well, we happen to have a freshman that's playing like he's a seasoned vet. But I take my hat off to his high school program, getting him prepared to play college football, and take my hat off to Coach Germany, who's our quarterback coach and co-offensive coordinator, and working with him and getting him to the point to where he needs to be so that he can be successful. I think it's not about how old you are. If he was 27 years old and playing quarterback, this was his first year, we probably wouldn't be saying he's a true freshman, but really he would be a true freshman. The guy plays. We got talent around him. He make the plays he's supposed to make. He make the plays we expect him to make. And if he's going to make plays, we're going to be tough to beat. I like our chances when he's playing well. And he's been playing well for us during this 7-game stretch, and I continually see him getting better. We got one more game, and I look forward to seeing him playing in that. I thought the stage would give him some problems playing in the Superdome, but, he stepped up and had a game again that I think he'll remember for the rest of his life.
And talk about the fact that it looks like this time you'll be able to have all your parts, because I guess the first time you had some key players that weren't, eligible to play right now. So to have your full complement of weapons, if you will, how big is that going to be going into this matchup with Alcorn?
Well, I think we're a different team. I think, and after that game, that's what I expressed to the media before, that I said if we can just stay healthy and somehow dodge the bullets early and find ways to win, as we get certain players back, I think we'll be a different team going down the stretch. And, it's really the locker room that we lost the first time we played them. We didn't have that leadership in the locker room, and, we played a lot of true freshmen, but that's helped us going down the stretch. So now those guys are making plays, and they're confident, and, it's going to be an exciting football game. Coach Hobson's got a very good football team, and they do an outstanding job. And, hey, they beat us handily with the players that we have, and, we give them credit for that. But the good thing about it, we get a chance to play them again, and we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Still taking questions for. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Coach. David Perkins with SBN Sports. I wanted to ask you about Leonard Tillery, who in the Bayou Classic rushed for, I believe, 168 yards, and during the regular season finished with over 1,000 rushing yards. Can you talk about his season and what he means to your offense?
I mean, I just think anytime you can run the football, you like your chances at winning those games. You know, I think they allow you to control the clock, allow you to control the physical part of the game, and I think he's performed well this year. You know, as advertised, he's our leading rusher coming back. He runs the ball extremely hard. He knows what time of year it is. I mean, everybody got to be fighting and calling for that extra yard, but he's been doing it all year, and I'm just excited to watch the success as we go through our season. I mean, this young man does it in the running game. He does it in the blocking game. I mean, he's an all-around tailback that's having a phenomenal season, and it's fun to watch.
Thank you, Coach.
We're still taking questions for Dawson Odums, head coach at Southern University.
Hey, Coach, it's Les East. You mentioned how you were a different team back in September when you played Alcorn State. And given that this is a totally different game, still, what can you take from that first meeting that you might be able to use as a teaching tool during this week?
Well, I mean, I don't really think it's – I mean, you look at it, you prepare yourself like it's another game. You know, you got to understand – you know, what you did wrong and what did they do to hurt you. And at the end of the day, man, you got to go play. But it makes a big difference playing with some guys that's played college football versus guys that's their first time being out there. But they're a very good football team. They're very explosive. You know, they're very good on offense, defense. They have great special teams. And, I mean, you got to coach and you got to play. I mean, this going to be one of those games where, you know, like we tell our guys all the time, we're worried about us. If we can control the things that we want to get done, we like our chances. And that's what this week is all about, focusing on us and getting ourselves lined up so that we can go play a complete football game.
Thanks.
Do we have any more questions for Southern head coach Dawson Odums?
Coach, this is Mark Gregg again. I forgot to ask about the Alcorn matchup. It's been a tough one traditionally for Southern to come out on top. I think the last time, as I did the research for the Bayou, that you and Grambling were playing for the West was 2003. Grambling had beat them. They knocked you off. Can you talk about the matchup, how it seems to always swing in their favor during the regular season?
Well, I mean, streaks happen. I mean, sometimes, you know, you play well against certain opponents, and sometimes that opponent don't play well against you. So, I mean, I think you have that dilemma where you run into those problems. But I think at the end of the day, you know, it's a lot of things that haven't taken place, but a lot of things have an opportunity to change. And the good thing about it, it'll be decided on the field. They've done a great job at beating us. They've done a great job of preparing and getting their football team ready to play at a high level when it comes to these two teams playing. Now, we have to match that intensity, and we have to match that focus and concentration, and that's what we plan on doing this week. But they've had the upper hand, and they've been able to find ways to beat us. And if we want to change that,